we got some breaking news right off the bat. I'm still going to talk about this other stuff, but I know I'm running just a tad bit late, but thank you so much for joining in. If you would, please hit the thumbs up and share this video. Share this video. Push it out, push it out, push it out. Come on, help me out. Please bless me by sharing this video. Get it out there. All right, so let's get right into this. This is good news, breaking news. And I think, now let me before we bring it up, Shannon, because I want to talk about this article that you just brought up there. It is going viral already. Before you bring it up, though, I want to put it out there and say that, we constantly talk about how we were not happy with Pam Bondi. We're not happy with the DOJ. We wish they would just go ahead and just start getting these people, indicting these people, arresting these people, for all the corruption that they've done, for what they've taken the country through for the past, not just the last 4 years, but the years before that, the 4 years before that, the 8 to 10 years, at least minimum, what they've done to all of us in this country. And I think it's actually starting to happen. I think it's starting to come down to the wire on it. Well, with that said, Pam Bondi again, with Pam Bondi, a lot of people are not happy with her. And I kept going, let me give her the benefit of the doubt, and there's had to be some reason why President Trump hasn't fired her, because President Trump likes her, obviously. So I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. And I kept saying, you know what, there's got to be something coming, because I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to go down in history as another Jeff Sessions. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to go down in history as Attorney General Barr. And we got some information we want to share about Attorney General Barr. So I kept giving her the benefit of the doubt, and it appears to be that I was right by giving her the benefit of the doubt. It appears to be. Why do I say that? Hit that thumbs up, hit the share video on this, hit the share it, hit the share button. Please hit the share button on this. Go ahead and bring it up, Shannon. Look at this, everybody. Breaking news. This is not good for Letitia James. Letitia James, this is the same Letitia James that went after President Trump for the fraud case. They made it up. The statute of limitation, if there was actually fraud, had already ran out. They know it ran out, but they don't care. They did not care. They continued down that same path of trying to get Trump. Their whole goal was to stop Trump. It was 100% interference. What they were trying to achieve, trying to prevent President Trump from going back into the White House, but they couldn't stop him. Who's in the White House right now? Anybody? Who's in the White House? Donald J. Trump. So she tried. It came up to about $500 million where she tried to get President Trump to try to bankrupt him, to stop him in his tracks. And now we have this breaking news. News.
Let me just read. There's not a lot about it right now, but it says the investigation is being ran out of the Albany, New York, and is focused on possible deprivation of rights allegations. Two well-placed sources familiar with the probe told Fox News Digital. The investigation is in the early stages, but Fox News has learned that the James office received subpoenas for documents this week, including for information related to her civil fraud lawsuit against Trump. A spokesperson for James suggested the action by the DOJ was a weaponization of its prosecutorial power. They said any weaponization of justice should disturb every American. We stand strongly behind the successful litigation against the Trump Organization and the National Rifle Association, and we will continue to stand up for New Yorker rights.
So I'm wondering when Letitia James is going to come out and do a press conference. And she's going to say, he's just coming after me because we got him. That's the only reason why. This is just retaliation. Now, you remember she has this whole case where she did fraudulent paperwork for the properties that she owned. Remember that?
If you ask me, she's going to come out today.
Did you remove the audio? There we go. What were you going to say?
Apologize.
What were you going to say?
I was saying that I think that she'll do it this weekend or this today, just because she doesn't want this to be the headline news without her getting her 2 cents out there. She'll probably be on some of the big news cycles today. So, she's got to combat it with more lies. That's what the Democrats do.
Yeah, really. That's what these Democrats do. She got to try to get out in front of it. She has to try to get out in front of it to make it look like that the President Trump is just attacking her. Well, isn't that what she was doing? Maybe she shouldn't have brought attention to herself. Maybe that's it. When you're doing criminal activity and you try to go get somebody that's not doing criminal activity, you bring attention to yourself. And now the person that you were purposely going after, now they're in charge. Now they get to look at the criminal activity that you were actually doing. They need to get her. They need to get her. They need to get Obama. They need to get Nancy Pelosi, insider trading. They need to get all of them. There's no excuse why they should not get them. And this is the reason why a lot of people are upset, saying that what's going on with Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi needs to get these people. The level of corruption, look, I'm all the way in Texas, and Texas is in the hot seat right now because these Democrat cowards ran from the state. They fled. But I'm all the way in Texas, and even throughout the years, not just being in Texas, but throughout the years, we could see all the corruption and all of the evil, wicked things that the Democrats have been doing, and nothing ever happens to them. That's been the repeating term, the repeating conversation. Will Johnson, we see that they've done all of this, X, Y, Z, but nothing's going to happen to them because nothing ever does. Right? We never see justice where justice should happen. Right, Shannon? We never see it. And people are sick and tired of it.
Yeah, hopefully.
But now,
changing.
And also with this whole thing with Letitia James, they skipped a special counsel and went straight to the grand jury. They skipped the special counsel and went straight directly to the grand jury. What does that mean?
That means they have something already.
That means they have something. There's no investigations that needs to go on anymore. They have the receipts. See, this has been a problem in the past when we're all constantly saying that they're not going to do anything. Well, them going directly to the grand jury, this is them actually doing something. And we want them to do something, because if they don't get these criminals and get them for what they've done, then any confidence that we have in our government is going to dwindle away. We're going to lose all confidence. I mean, right now, we're all kind of sitting on the edge of our seat with it right now. Right. And the only reason why we have any confidence in our federal government is because President Trump, God heard our prayers and put President Trump back in office. That's the only reason why we think that our government is still worth saving. But if they don't arrest these people for all of the corruption that they've done, I don't know about you, and y'all can let me know. See, I love it. We can highlight your comments when you say stuff here. And I got the comments scrolling right here if you chime in. So by all means, go ahead. You see how it's moving? Let me know what you think, because I do look at the comments. That's why I have them here like this. And we get to highlight when you say something. So, but you have to comment in order for me to say something, in order for my producer to put something here. Right? That's how it works. You comment, I get to highlight it. But I think, let me ask you the question. Do you feel the same way that I feel? Now, we're happy that President Trump is back in office, but we were all saying that Pam Bondi's not doing her job. We were saying that all this corruption, we know that they've done the corruption. We're on the outside looking in and we see the corruption and no one's been arrested. So now it looks like it's about to happen. They went straight to the grand jury with the whole Russia hoax, right? Now they got subpoenas about the whole Epstein files, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Can you imagine right now these radical liberals that are getting subpoenaed wish that all the other liberals out in the world would just shut up about Epstein? Like, shut up. President Trump played them all. Now there's subpoenas going out. Okay. We'll see what you're doing. You're calling President Trump. And if President Trump's name was in those Epstein files, don't you think after trying to assassinate the man, trying to remove the man from the ballot, Letitia James trying to bankrupt him, the 4 indictments, the beautiful mugshot in Florida, the raiding his home more than once. right? Do you not think for a second that if President Trump's name was in those Epstein files that they would have put it out there? Most definitely they would have, but they didn't do it. You know why? Because Trump's name is not there. Other than he knew Trump, other than Trump knew him. There's a couple of pictures. That's it. Because if there was damaging evidence in there, then a Biden's administration, Kamala Harris, been all on top of it. They would have released it. The FBI during that time, they did not want President Trump to go back in office. Do you understand what I'm saying? So all those radical leftist lunatics out there kicking and screaming, saying, "Oh, Trump's name's in there." Really? Really? How come you weren't asking for that information the past 4 years ago? Stupid liberals. You got something else we want to share, Shannon?
Yeah, I just want to share this really quick. This came out today, Will. It's talking about how the Texas Democrats who left the state, they face paycheck restrictions. So in order to get their paycheck, normally they get it drafted.
They get a direct deposit.
Right. Well, they have to come to the house in order to pick up their paycheck. So
now they have to go pick up an actual physical paycheck in order to get paid.
They have to come into the chambers and
Let's
pick it
go.
up.
Well, you know what? I think what's going to end up happening, Shannon, is that who's ever funding them from leaving the state of Texas. I started to say California because Democrats, that's where they all should go. Just go to California. But anyways, whoever funding them to leave the state of Texas is probably going to give them some money. They'll probably tell them, say, "Don't worry, we'll take care of you. You don't have to worry about eating. We'll help you out with your expenses." Right?
I believe you're probably right.
That's probably what's going to end up happening. So because they're going to say, you need to stay in this fight. You need to stay in this fight. Your check will be there.
This fight is bigger than you.
Yeah. So that's probably what's going to end up happening. Let me share something else with you before we get into the meat of this about how the Democrats, I believe they're calling for violence. The Democrats are not us as Americans, MAGA Republicans, conservatives, Christians. We want peace. We want everybody to be happy. But the Democrats are not. But before we get to that, Doge is still going full steam ahead, even though Elon Musk is no longer working on Doge. It's still going full steam ahead. Well, Doge, apparently, this is in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, where they're going and they're finding waste and fraud in the little cities throughout the state of Florida. And come to find out, when they found out that Doge was coming in and started looking at some of the waste and fraud that was taking place, some of the city officials started fudging the numbers. They started removing key detail to prevent Doge from doing their jobs. Well, I want y'all to listen to what he has to say about them trying to cover up their wasteful spending. This is good.
The next thing I want to talk about is something which is probably a little bit more serious. It has come to my attention, and I've been getting information that there are some governments, cities and or counties, not at liberty to say right now, are having some meetings and with the sole purpose of scrubbing the information from public record as we start looking for some of the things that are outlined in our Doge letters. So specifically getting rid of certain keywords digitally, so this way when you do the searches, it becomes much, much harder to find, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now that we will not tolerate any cover-up of any egregious spending or things that are not supposed to be spending according to Florida law. I will tell you that we are going to continue to investigate this, and this is a warning to any local government that tries to hide the spending, try to get scrub the information from government servers, that we will subpoena you, and we will make sure that we get the information. In addition, if we have enough information, we are going to send in the digital forensics team from FDLE and find out who is scrubbing the information, and then we may refer that over for criminal investigation. So this is serious. When we say that we want to make sure that we're rooting out the waste, fraud, and abuse, that is for the benefit of the taxpayer. We will not tolerate any covering up of any information in order to fulfill our mission.
They will not tolerate it. Any cover-ups. So I'm gonna put it out there. I encourage every liberal to go ahead and test the waters on it. Test the waters. Because see, the one thing about Doge, Shannon, is that they don't come out and say what we're going to do in the future. Doge has been known to come out and expose what the left has been doing. And that's what's happening here. They've exposed what the left has been doing, trying to cover up and trying to hide data that they've been looking for. And now they're going to get criminal charges. Criminal charges will come up against them. All right. Let's get to some of this really quick. Hey, before I share this with you, let me remind everybody, if you could please bless me by going to givesendgo.com/studio, givesendgo.com/studio. There's actually been a couple people who've already blessed me on there. And if I can, Shannon, I would like to just acknowledge them really quick. If I can really just acknowledge them really quick here. Shannon wasn't ready for me to do this. This is the reason why she hadn't pulled it up yet. So apparently I wasn't either. But I just want to acknowledge a couple people who's already blessed me. This is for me to help me, just add to what's happening in my studio. I have equipment in here and some of this is over 10 years old. And I just want to just add a little bit to it to help out with some of the stuff that I have going on. So I just want to say thank you to Linda. I have an anonymous giver on here. And Steve, thank you so much for the blessings. Thank you so much. And I don't know if this is the same Steve, Shannon, but we have a Stephen that has sent me a letter in the mail. And then we have a Joanne that sent me a letter in the mail. And we have a John that sent me a letter in the mail. And I'm going to hold them this way so you can see them because I don't want you to see their addresses. I would be happy to show you my address. But here, let me do it like this so you can see that these are actually real. I'm going to cover up their address and their name so you can see one's from Phoenix, Arizona. But just to be on the safe side, I don't want to show anybody's actual personal address and names. I never will do that because I respect the fact that you took the time to send me blessings in the mail and you send me a letter. So if you would, please go to givesendgo.com/studio. And as I mentioned before, God's word, it tells us, if you don't ask, you don't receive. So I'm asking God's people, please find it in your heart to consider to help me. givesendgo.com/studio. Okay, the Democrats. Now, the Democrats don't come right out and say and call for violence. They're not going to say it like that. They're not going to come right out and say it. But have you ever known for Democrats to tell people to hit the streets and be peaceful? Kumbaya, let's just be happy. Let's be happy. Let's just go out the streets and do a little protesting and it'll be okay. We'll do that. We'll get what we want. No, they end up becoming violent. The Summer of Love. And, what was that? What was that location in Portland? They called it Chaz, where they were locking down the city block. Same thing in Minneapolis. They go in and their violence, the drug sale goes up, the drug usage go up, the violence, everything. When Democrats go out and push something. And then they turn around and try to say, well, these MAGA extremists are about bringing violence and they bring up white supremacy and all of this other nonsense. They say it, they talk it, but guess what? We have the video, we have the receipts of them calling for the violence. We have the receipts and the video of them saying this nonsense. Listen to this. Listen to her. This is like the state of Texas, right? So in the state of Texas, we have Democrats that have fled because it got tough for them. It got a little too tough for them. Oh my goodness, the job is just too tough. So we got to run away like cowards. Is there anyone that disagree with me? They ran from the state like cowards. They ran from their jobs. Now, if I ran away from my job and my employer like, dude, where you at? They would just fire me. We the people demand that they come back and do their jobs. If you're going to be MIA, then I demand that they should be fired. Who's their boss? Are we the people not their boss? And they're not going to do their jobs? I'm calling for them for their termination. They should be fired, right? They should be fired. Let the check that they go pick up be their last check. Let that be the last check. Put a pink slip with it. I think everyone agreed because they're cowards. They're running from the job. You don't run from your job when things get tough. That's when you really dig down in. That's when you really get into it. But I want y'all to listen to her. Because apparently, you know, they said they got a bomb threat. Now, I think they probably, if you ask me, it was staged. I mean, really? Conservatives don't want to have nothing to do with them in the first place. And they're not going to do, I mean, really? That doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. But nonetheless, listen to this.
I want everybody to remember Trump's afraid of the voters.
Oh, right there. That's the first thing I got to stop it on. I'm sorry. She said that Trump is afraid of the voters. More than half the country voted for President Trump. Why is President Trump afraid of the voters? Why is that? No, President Trump is not afraid of the voters. President Trump knows that the Democrats are trying to stack the system in their favor. So when it comes this midterm election, that they can put more Democrats in there for the simple purpose, the sole purpose of impeaching President Trump. That's the only reason why they're doing what they're doing. But President Trump is stopping them in their tracks and they're angry. So listen, I'm going to take it back. I'm trying not to stop it this time.
I want everybody to remember Trump's afraid of the voters. He asked Governor Abbott to steal him 5 seats.
No, I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to stop it. I said, I said I was going to try not to stop it. She said President Trump asked Governor Abbott to steal him 5 seats. See, they're going to use that rhetoric if they get the opportunity to try to impeach President Trump. He broke the law. He asked Abbott to steal 5 seats. It is perfectly lawful for them to redraw the lines in the districts in the state of Texas and other states as well. It's perfectly legal. But see, they don't want them to do it. Why? Because it's going to work to the benefit of the Republicans. They don't like it. Okay. Now, I said I wasn't going to stop anymore, but watch.
Asked Governor Abbott to steal him 5 seats. He is now threatening federal arrest to come get us, force us back in our spot so that he can again do a power grab. None of this is American. All of this sounds like a dictator desperate to hold on to his power.
Okay, here it is right there, right? So they fled their jobs and President Trump is saying, go back and do your job. Go back and do your job. The voters are not afraid of President Trump. The voters are with President Trump. And there's more people in the state of Texas that's with President Trump and with the GOP, what they're doing. I'm in Texas. I want the GOP to do this. But the whole rhetoric again, he's a dictator trying to allude that President Trump is trying to go down the path of Nazi Germany like Hitler. That's what she's alluding to. Listen to her because she's actually calling for people to go out and not be peaceful. Listen.
And it should scare everybody in this country that we've reached this point. It is why, as Texas Democrats, we are reaching to the nation to say these are not normal times. Please step up and find the courage to let them know that they have gone way too far.
Please step up and find the courage to let them know that they stepped too far. Really? Can we put the comments on the screen? Maybe, seriously. And maybe someone leave me a comment here. Yeah, can y'all tell me? Yeah, my producer will holler at, but you can't do, if you do a book, it won't show up in here properly. I don't know why. I wish I could make it show up in here properly, but if you do a whole thing, I love the fact that you put a book in there, a whole bunch of information. I do love that. But if you do, there's little short ones like that will show up. I'm just asking y'all the question. Have you ever known for Democrats ask for everyone to go out and be peaceful? What do you think she's saying? What do you think she's calling for? Do you really think that she's like, well, we need people just to go out and be peaceful and protest? No, she's saying that we're in a position that they've never been in before. Because, see, they had it in their minds that they were going to impeach President Trump. That's the first thing. You know, they were behind closed doors, like they went up in Illinois behind closed doors and having discussions, talking about how they're going to get rid of President Trump. And then President Trump is like, they're behind closed doors saying, well, you know what? President Trump is going to stop us. If we don't stop Trump from doing what he's doing to us right now and we lose seats, we're not going to be able to impeach President Trump. They're saying it right now. You know, they're saying it. They're going to be upset if they are not able to impeach President Trump. And that's what this is all about. And President Trump is saying, you know what? Because see, President Trump, he was in office the first time and he was learning the lay of the land. President Trump was figuring it all out. He was figuring it all out. But now President Trump knows the game. He knows the game. And they're not happy about it. Here's another one with Scott Jennings. And I do like Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings. So he's on here and you know, what's his name? Actor Dean Cain. He played Superman and he said that he's joining ICE and all of the left that come unglued because he's part of Hollywood. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be radical leftist lunatic. You're not supposed to be with the American people. Well, Scott Jennings calls them out because they're actually been calling for violence against members of ICE. And they're trying to act like, no, we're not. No, we're not. That's exactly what they've been doing. 100%. Why do you think that they're actually asking to dox ICE members? Remember that all that came about? They were talking about dox these ICE members so they can know where they live. They were actually finding out where the dox members, for example, you have a male that's an ICE agent, and then they would dox that ICE agent, find out where his wife works, find out where his children go to school, and they were harassing the kids at school. How is that not calling for violence?
To say Republicans right now are trying to recruit and give bonuses to people who want to serve in ICE, and Democrats right now and people on the left are encouraging violence against people who want to serve in ICE.
They are?
And are putting them in harm's way every day.
How
so
exactly?
The two parties and how they're treating ICE agents right now, I think Republicans embracing recruitment of ICE and Democrats encouraging maybe violence.
So we're
against
just
ICE.
going to make a declarative
Terrible.
statement like that without providing a single shred of evidence?
Really? You hear like she's been in the la-la land. She's been on the rock somewhere. I mean, Mayor Bass, Hochul, all of these people have been calling for it. All of them been calling for it. There's actually one Democrat that's possibly going to get 17 years in jail because she was violent towards an ICE agent. MacGyver. Have we forgotten about that? Maybe we need to show her the video on that again.
You have not seen the myriad stories of
Democrats-
ICE agents?
Okay, hold
Democrats
on.
every day are calling them the
No.
Gestapo.
Hold
Do you
on.
think that helps or
Hold on.
hurts?
Well, they do act like Gestapo when
Now
they're
you're doing
showing
it.
up.
Now-
You see this? So federal agents doing their jobs by apprehending people who came into the country illegally, already broken the law. So she's for the lawlessness. And you know what their biggest talking point is for the left? You're arresting people that haven't really committed that big of a crime. Well, should we wait and find out until they make that big crime? Or should we go ahead and deport the people who've already committed a crime? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I don't want us to wait and find out to see if they're actually going to commit a crime. And in most cases, if people are willing to go ahead and commit a crime, they'll commit another one. Especially if you got idiots like this woman here giving them a pass for committing a crime.
Now you're doing
well,
it.
they are.
I
If they're just showing
I
up
assume you
at-
condone the
in
violence.
Penske trucks.
Do you condone the
at
violence?
Home Depot. Listen,
Because they came out
I don't
of
want
the
my
Penske truck
tax
does not
dollars
make
going to
them
that garbage,
Gestapo.
okay? Those people do
Enforcement
not
of federal
deserve to
law?
be treated that way simply
Who
because
what
they
people?
might be
Do the ICE
undocumented.
agents deserve to be having violent acts committed, rocks thrown at them?
No, they
people
don't.
Trying to
They don't.
kill
and
them?
those people who do that get arrested, and they should be
And why
arrested.
don't they
and
know they're
prosecuted.
doing that?
arrested
Because
either.
they've been told the ICE agents are
Have you
Gestapo.
considered the fact that in a city like Los Angeles that has a massive immigrant community, when they see their mothers or fathers or family members rounded up, that leads to a lot of rage and they retaliate. I'm not saying they should. That is criminal. They should not assault
sounds
a
like you're
police
condoning
officer.
it.
Let me just tell you something. Someone messes with my family, I get violent. Okay, that's how I feel about family.
Good to know.
I protect family. So don't be surprised when people feel angry when they feel that there's a bunch of feds in their city invading their city,
there's a violent streak
going
in the country
after
right
people
now
who are just day laborers that are Home Depot parking lot.
That's dangerous talk, though, with regard to law enforcement in general. Because you
please.
can make that argument about
Please.
anything with law enforcement, which is, all right, so law enforcement came in, they arrested someone at my house, they got the wrong person, and I am mad, and as a result, I'm going to now
get to be rageful?
Well, no, I mean, look, you can be mad.
It leads to unrest. It leads to a ton of
No,
unrest.
it's more than that.
No,
They are
that's-
physically attacking.
And by the way,
There's an
interesting.
800% increase in attacks on ICE agents.
You see that? They're willing to give it a pass. It's okay. It's okay to be violent. It's okay to be violent. Democrats are okay with it. They try to act like they're not for violence, but then when it comes to their agenda, what they want, they're 100% for it. Hey, let me say thank you to Filter Dog for the gold pills. Thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I got another one I want to share with you. And again, it goes right down the alley of them trying to get people to get in their feelings, their emotions, to act out, to be violent, to be a certain way. This is them calling for it. This is the Democrats. The number 8. Now, y'all let me know. And I'm constantly looking over here because I got the comments over here. And I'm just kind of curious. I've never heard of this before. And if you ask me, this dude is just making it up on MSDNC. But apparently the number 8 is associated with white supremacy. I'd never heard of such a thing. Maybe y'all have. Let me know. Let me know. Comment below. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Have you ever heard of that? You know, I've never even seen pictures or images. Only thing I think of maybe is referring to the affinity sign that looks like an 8, but typically is sideways. So I've never known for the number or for the letter 8, right? And then it goes to the number because, well, Will Johnson is the number that's in the alphabet. Really? The number 8 in the alphabet is H. I want y'all to listen to this radical leftist lunatic make up something out the side of his neck, trying to make a connection. And they're doing this because they want the stupid people that watch this crap religiously to get violent. Listen to him. Watch.
The president said that we will fly our flags at half-mast until August 8th. That's 8/8. Now, I'm not going to imply that he did this deliberately, but I am using it as an example of the ignorance of the adversary that's being demonstrated by the White House. The numbers 8/8 are very significant in neo-Nazi and white supremacy movement. Why? Because the letter H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. And to them, the numbers 8/8 together stand for Heil Hitler.
What? What? Have you ever heard of that before, Shannon? Have you ever heard of that?
No,
the
I
number
never.
8 stands for that now? I mean, really, have you ever heard of that?
I have no idea. Why? And actually, I haven't even heard that the flags are supposed to be flown at half staff. I just tried to look it up, and nothing's coming up. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's talking about. But
He's just making up something.
I
And the
mean,
thing is, he goes on
perhaps.
MSDNC, and they don't say, what are you talking about? They're just like, oh yeah. Let's feed our flock these lies to get them to go out and act a certain way. Because think about it. How were they going to get people, liberals, to go out and hit the street and be violent, Shannon? How are they going to do it? Is everybody on that email list? I mean, share the email list with me. I've been trying to get on their email list for the longest.
okay, so apparently the flags were flown at half staff for the Purple Heart ceremony. You know, you just had the Purple Heart ceremony for people to put their
Right, and he
lives
said
on the line.
they're gonna raise it on the 8th.
Yeah, so they lowered it yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and they're gonna raise it back up today. What? It's a 24-hour thing.
24-hour thing.
Uh,
So it just happened to be the 8th of August. So he makes that comparisons to the letter H in the alphabet. That's when you talk about grasping for straws. You know that? When you want to talk about grasping for straws, that's exactly what that is. Let's just make up something. That's what the Democrats have been doing all this time. Let's just make up something and get people to believe it. And I guarantee If I can go out and do man on the street and I ask people about, have you heard about the number 888? Have you heard about that? Have you heard about that? What it means? And they'll probably go, yeah, I heard it on MSDNC. It means Hitler. I mean, I've never heard of such a thing.
So apparently somebody in the chat said that that's an old clip. Bongino used it when he was doing shows. So.
Oh, really? But yeah. I'd never seen the clip. But
I never heard the reference of 8 to Hitler, which is your point for watching it. So
yeah, I never heard of it. I had no idea. I'm like, what in the world? That's my first time seeing it too. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just like it's absolutely ridiculous what the Democrats are saying here in the state of Texas. I wasn't going to play it, but I think I'm going to play it, Shannon. I got to play this really quick. You know what this one is? So let me give y'all a little bit of history here. For those of you that don't know this, the Democrat Party has only been the party in the United States of America that ever owned black slaves. The Democrat Party. See, they like to tell everybody that the party switched, but let's just go with that for a second. The party switch is still the Democrat Party that owned slaves. It's not the Republican Party. And see, the only thing that they say switch was their way of thinking. Like they try to say that Republican Party now is the party of racism. That's what they're saying. The Republican Party is a party of racism when it's completely false, because the Republican parties were created so that black people, brown people could have representation. Democrats don't want black people to have representation, which brings me to the state of Texas. Again, the Democrats don't actually want black people to have representation, but now they will come out and say that doing the redistricting in the state of Texas is taking away the black vote, which is a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of BS. Now, I just happened to be watching this hearing yesterday that they were having here in the state of Texas, and I want you to listen to what this dude says. Senator Miles? Senator Miles, I want y'all to listen to what he says about these cowardly Democrats that have fled the state of Texas. Remember, this whole thing about the redistricting in the state of Texas, for them, for the left, they're saying that it's racist. It's racist. It's racist. But this right here takes the cake.
Constituents to choose their electeds. This is allowing electeds to choose their constituents. Okay? And that's where we're wrong. And it's
now listen to this part here. Listen to this. Okay? Listen carefully.
And as far as my colleagues in the House who are being chased like runaway slaves,
oh my goodness,
and the only pursuit they're trying to do is protect democracy.
Oh my goodness,
we have to stand with them, because that's all they're doing is trying to protect democracy, and they're being chased away and they're being entrapped like runaway slaves.
Oh my goodness! Let me remind y'all again: these are Democrats fleeing from doing their jobs from the Democrats that voted for them. So who are they fleeing from? They're fleeing from Democrats. It's always been black people in the past that ran away from the Democrat plantation. So these are, now it would be one thing if they were running away from the Democrat plantation for freedom, but they're not. They're not even standing and fighting for freedom. These are elected officials, cowards. And how does he have the audacity to try to say that these are runaway slaves? Oh my goodness. When all people are asking them to do is do their jobs, but they can't do their jobs. They don't want to do their jobs. So they run away like a bunch of cowards. Like a bunch of cowards. Here's another one really quick with Governor Kathy Hochul basically saying that, Democrats, we follow the rules. We do what's right. But if these Republicans are not going to do what's right and don't follow the rules, neither are we. As I mentioned multiple times, Democrats are okay with breaking the law because they're Democrats. And when they constantly say no one's above the law, they say that no one's above the law but them. They leave the but them part out. Because, see, they get to break the law because they're Democrats. Demons get to do evil things, and you're supposed to be like, oh, it's just fine. We're Democrats. We get to do it. Listen to Hochul here. Listen to her here.
If this is how they're going to play the game, we're going to fight fire with fire. I didn't want to take on this fight. I've always followed the rules. Democrats always follow the rules. But when they're willing to do this to subvert our democracy, shame on us if we don't stand up. They know they're going to be wiped out in the elections next year. Democrats will have a generational shift in our favor. But if they're going to break the rules, then I'm not going to follow the meter anymore. I'm sorry to say that. That actually hurts to say that. But I'm not going to go into a fight with my hands tied behind my back. That never worked.
So what is she calling for? If she says she's not going to follow the rules any longer, not that she's been following the rules, because she's actually encouraged the illegals to show up in her state, and they were funding these illegals that broke the law come into the country. Is that not already breaking the rules? So what is she actually talking about? And she says that she's not going to play along with the rules. The gloves are coming off one time. And then she's the same one that says we are at war. The gloves are coming off. Are they talking about the gloves are coming off and they're just going to like clap? What is she talking about? The Democrats are the ones that's calling for violence. 100%. It's always the Democrats calling for violence. 100%. And it's almost like they don't even hide it any longer. Like they don't even care that you know that they're calling for it. It's like they're encouraging it. Like they're encouraging the violence. And with the way they're encouraging it, they're actually trying to incite violence and get people, not them, mind you, not them. They want to get the people in the country to go out and be violent. So when the people in the country go out and be violent, they can go, the reason why this is happening is because of President Trump and Governor Abbott. If President Trump and Governor Abbott just stop doing what they're doing, then all of this will stop. And as I've mentioned multiple times, the reason why they're doing this is because the Democrats believe that violence, chaos, animosity, destruction works in their favor. Because for them in the past, it has. The Summer of Love. The Summer of Love wasn't about George Floyd. The Summer of Love was completely political. And in their minds, it worked. So this is what they're trying to push for. They're 100% pushing for this. Oh, Shannon, can we talk about this real quick? I don't know if you have the article on it, but President Trump put a thing out there. Actually, I have the picture on it. I want to put this up on the screen. Is this it here? Yeah. Let's put this up on the screen. I just want to bring this up to everybody's attention because I actually put this on this picture on Facebook from President Trump's 2 social posts. He says, I have instructed the Department of Commerce to immediately begin working on a new and highly accurate census based on modern day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results of the information gained from the presidential election of 2024. The radical left are coming unglued. Well, this is unconstitutional. You're supposed to count everybody, all the bodies, even the ones that are not even breathing any longer. Count them all. Right? This is what they're saying. Did you hear what I just said? The Democrats want to count dead bodies too. In the census report, they do. You don't have to be a citizen. Dead people aren't citizens of America. They're still people. Are they not? Just like the illegals. They want them to count the illegals and see this is the main reason why the Democrats have brought in all the illegals into the country, because they would get counted in the census report. President Trump goes on to say people who are in our country illegally would not be counted in the census. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And they're all losing their minds right now. Oh my goodness, I can't believe he's doing this. This is unconstitutional. When the founding fathers put it in there that everyone should be counted, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that they were counting people that were here visiting, that came lawfully. See, they had no anticipation of the Democrats unlawfully bringing people into the country illegally, millions of people just for that purpose. Because, see, they didn't have an illegal immigration problem during that time. They didn't have it. So the Democrats are using it to their advantage to try to bring in all these people so they can have all these people counted in the census report, which we've been screaming for the longest. So then that way they can have more seats. And President Trump, the Republicans are stopping it. That's the reason why the Democrats are reacting the way they're reacting. Because in their mind, we did all of this terrible stuff, this bringing all these illegals into the country for President Trump just to take it away. Because you notice when Joe Biden was in office and all of these illegals were coming across the border, none of these Democrats were complaining. Why? Because they were like, oh yeah, put some here. Let's put 1,500 over there. Let's put 3,000 over there. Let's put 1,600 over there because it's going to benefit us with the census report. It's going to benefit us. We get to redraw lines because the number of people. And here the Republicans doing it and they're losing their minds. Actually, they've lost their minds. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And according to the Republicans here in the state of Texas, the bill's gonna pass, regardless if they're here or not. And they said, do you remember the date, Shannon? I know they gave them a date, and I wish they would stop doing this. You know, they keep giving these Democrats the opportunity to come back. As soon as you're MIA and you leave and they do roll call and you're not there, seat is now vacant.
They said
Let's
till Friday.
fill the seat.
They said till Friday. Today's Friday.
Okay, so Friday. So if they're not back.
That's what I recall.
Okay, so if they're not back in their seats, come Monday morning, the locks on their doors will be changed to their office. Right? The key will no longer work.
Why? Did you read that?
I've heard. Well, I don't know if they're going to change the keys. I'm just adding that part.
I haven't heard that.
I'm adding that part. But I'm told, I've seen the reports they're saying that the seats will be vacant. That means Abbott can refill the seat. So then, and at the same time, because they're not there, today's Friday, they're not there, they can say these seats are vacant, which will bring the quorum number that they need down. So then when they bring that number down, they will have a quorum. So this bill's going to pass regardless if they're here or not. And I think they still should be arrested. Anyone disagree with me? Even though they lose their seat because they did not fulfill their duties, they actually broke the law, they need to be arrested. I'm tired of them not being arrested, to be honest with you.
Well, unfortunately, it's a civil law. It's more of a house rule than it is a law on the books. Like a police officer can't arrest them. It has to be Capitol, the Texas Capitol Police but
let's do it. Well, when they show up to get their paycheck.
Well, I think that's part of the plan.
Actually, I think they have, if I'm not mistaken, they have sales in the bottom of the Capitol. If I'm not mistaken, they have sales. Maybe someone is watching and let me know if that's true or not. I've heard it. I hadn't seen them myself. But rumor has it. I don't know. But if there's not one, let's go ahead and create one. Hey, let me remind everybody again, go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, uniteamericafirst.com/donate. Support me, help me to continue to bring the news, to bring the information, uniteamericafirst.com. I greatly appreciate it if you go to uniteamericafirst.com and support me there. Right there, uniteamericafirst.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. I did say free. Sign up for the free newsletter. So then that way you will always know, you'll be always on the up and up about what's going on. And 1 hour from now, you see those 3 boxes right there? 1 hour from now, that's the shows that I do Monday through Friday. But 1 hour from now, you will see I will have another show called Culture Wars, where I'm going to do a deep dive into some other stuff that I can't show on because we're live on Facebook and YouTube. I can't show it to you here. They don't allow for certain free speech, right? It is what it is. it's not my rules, it's their rules. But if you want to see what I'm talking about, make sure you tune in 1 hour. Set a mobile alert on your phone. Set a mobile alert on your phone. Set a timer on your phone to tune in. Go back to uniteamericafirst.com and click on Culture Wars to take you directly to it. And uniteamericafirst.com/donate. You can support me right there monthly. I greatly appreciate it. God puts it on your heart. Or if you just want to do a one-time thing, you see all the digital options right there. Or the physical one, like I showed you earlier, where the awesome people have sent me letters, and I've kept every single envelope and letter. I have a binder. I need to get actually another binder to put them in. Actually, 2 more. I have so many. I've kept every single one since the very first one that I received. Also, really quick, if I can remind everybody too, givesendgo.com/studio, givesendgo.com/studio. We're about almost halfway there. You can see the amount that I'm asking for is not the world. It's not the world. It's just to help me upgrade my 10-year-old equipment here in the studio. GiveSendGo.com/studio. All right, everybody. God bless. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. See you on the flip side.